Let me introduce myself, first of all. My name is Ibrahim Osta. I am the Chief of Party for USAID's Developing Sustainable Tourism in Bosnia and Herzegovina. USAID is the United States Agency for International Development. It is the arm, the development arm, the international development arm of the US government. And USAID is making some significant investments in tourism development across the world, and especially in the absolutely wonderful country of Bosnia and Herzegovina. To my left is Minister Suzana Gašić. She is the Minister of Trade and Tourism from Republika Srpska of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And to the far left is Ms. Dobrila Vukmanović. She is the representative of USAID Bosnia and Herzegovina. As I mentioned, USAID is making significant investments in transforming the tourism industry in a sustainable manner in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and to give us the rationale for why the US government is making that investment, I would like to turn over to Ms. Vukmanović.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. As the representative of the U.S. Agency for International Development in Bosnia and Herzegovina, mission in Bosnia and Herzegovina, it is my pleasure to be here today and to see many tourism professionals, government representatives, and other stakeholders attending this event. It is my special pleasure also to have the representatives from the Bosnia and Herzegovina government, the Minister Suzana Gašić, the Minister of the Tourism and Trade from Republika Srpska, and we will later see also the Minister Edita Đapo, the Minister of Tourism and Environment of Bosnia and Herzegovina, who are our great partners. USAID is present in Bosnia and Herzegovina since 1996, and we have been involved in many sectors helping the country in the economic development. And tourism is one of the most important sectors in Bosnia and Herzegovina with a great potential. We have recognized that many years ago, and as a result, we have recently launched a great big activity, and one of the leading donors as well. USAID is developing sustainable tourism. Sustainable, this is the word that we are using very much, but it is very important for our agency because we are helping the countries on its journey to self-reliance. In order to do that, we have to work with the different levels of the government, and we are working with the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Economic Relations. This is also to really prize Ms. Jelica Grujić and Almir Hujić, who are coordinating our activities. Without joint effort, it would be impossible. One of the first documents that we are working all together are strategic documents to come up with a decent plan and help the country adopt the most important laws and regulations and to make the implementation plan of it. USAID is really proud to say that this is not only our only effort. We want to promote the country, we want to improve the skills of the tourism workers, and bring many people to Bosnia and Herzegovina and increase income and create jobs for the BH citizens. That's our final goal, actually, to help Bosnia and Herzegovina citizens to create revenues and to create jobs. But there is something else. I'm here and speaking as the representative of the U.S. Agency for International Development. But I'm also a BH citizen of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I have to say that we have a beautiful country, and we have a lot of things to show. We have beautiful waterfalls, we have Kravica, we have Pliva, we have wonderful old towns, Mostar, Trebinje, Banja Luka, Olympic City, Sarajevo, so many destinations, green rivers. So anybody who comes, whichever direction they take, they won't make mistake. But we want also to share these wonderful stories with the rest of the world. And I'm happy to invite you to come to my country, to come to Bosnia and Herzegovina, but also to promote the country here and to learn lessons and to hear from all of you what is it and what is it actually that we can do better. And there are some lessons learned. We are here to exchange the experiences, and I'm really looking forward to that. I will invite my colleague, Ibrahim, to actually tell you more details about USAID developing sustainable tourism project, $20 million project that is US government and USAID investing to help the country and Bosnia and Herzegovina on its journey to self-reliance. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this overview, and it's nice to hear not just a development professional expressing why the US government is investing in tourism, but when it comes from the heart, it tells you something that this is truly a sustainable approach. And USAID had the vision not just to develop a tourism project, but sustainable tourism and ensure that the name reflects the general approach. I will quickly go through the presentation. It will be available for you from the organizer. But I will talk fast in the interest of time, and I want to give the minister due time, of course, to share her vision. We heard earlier that we're here in a think tank. Yes, we're thinking, but at the same time we're implementing, and we would like to show you some of what is happening. So right in the essence, in the core of the approach to developing, really, it's nothing short from reinventing, I would say, the tourism industry in Bosnia and Herzegovina is sustainability. It's at the core of what the approach is. And it is, simply put, conservation-led, people-centric tourism development. So we begin with conservation. How do we conserve the environment? How do we ensure cultural sustainability? And how sustainability means really impacting people's lives. And therefore that really translates into kind of the triple-pronged sustainabilities: nature and environment sustainability, cultural sustainability, and of course economic sustainability. Now before I move forward, I would like to say that today all of these are going to be discussed by the ministers of tourism from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Later on today, we have the minister, Edita Djabo, Dr. Edita Djabo, who will be speaking about tourism impact on the environment, and she will be joined by my mentor, Dr. Talib Rifai, former UN World Tourism Organization Secretary General, as well as my friend, the minister from Jamaica, Mr. Bartlett, who will be also on the same panel. I would like to thank the Minister and Dr. Rifai for inviting Bosnia and Herzegovina to be part of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center. And this is something that we would like to continue the discussion on. But moving quickly forward, for those of you that may not know much about Bosnia and Herzegovina, it is comprised of two entities and a district. The minister, Minister Gašić, represents Republika Srpska, one entity, about half of the country, and Dr. Edita Djabo represents the second entity. So really we have the whole country represented today, and that's a key testament to the importance that the government and public sector stakeholders are putting into tourism development. It's an absolutely wonderful country, and it is essentially predominantly rural and green, and therefore sustainability is key to its development. So how we develop the industry means how do we magnify return to the country, to the people, without necessarily over-flooding it. So it's not about mass tourism, it's about higher yielding, conscientious, and respectful tourism that respects nature, respects culture and local traditions, and magnifies impact to the micro and small entrepreneurs. And there are a great deal of wonders in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is often dubbed, for example, the capital, the Jerusalem of Europe, where you can hear the Muslim call to prayer with the bells of churches at the same time, and next to a Jewish synagogue, for example. You could be in Sarajevo, the capital city, and it is surrounded by 10 mountains. 4 of them are Olympic mountains that hosted the 1984 Winter Olympics. And you can reach them within minutes. You can have an urban experience, and you can have a rural experience with waterfalls within minutes from the city. And that, again, calls for conservation of nature because that is the core of the product. And a great deal of world-class assets that are being presented to the world gradually but methodically. For example, the Herzegovina region has distinctive grape varieties and numerous wineries that are being knit together in a wine route. Now, this wine route will be also knit together with adventure experiences, with nature experiences, bringing the food producers as well, and all of the local food producers. We're talking about organic, we're talking about producers that seek geographic indications, very special. You come, you have a unique gastronomical experience and an immersion in nature. And all of these are specifically what the post-COVID world is looking for. Outdoors, spaced out experiences, people connecting with local cultures, but not necessarily in a mass environment. Now, there are lots of unique things also, and destinations within Bosnia and Herzegovina. And they're unique and they're attractive, not just in nature, but also the activities. It's a pretty active place. Tara Canyon, for example, is Europe's biggest canyon. Then you have the largest karst spring in Europe. We have distinctive flora and fauna, and people come for animal watching, for example, in the forest. And again, the minister, for example, one of the areas that herself and her government are working on expanding the protected area and making it available for community gain as well. I spoke about the wine, but also there's an acceleration, if that is possible, of slow food movement. That sounds like a contradiction, slow food and accelerating, but slow food, where you have all of the local producers present really truly unique and truly traditional and local gastronomic experiences, and to allow people to integrate and to participate in the making of the food and understanding the history of it and engaging with the locals, understanding their way of life, how they grow, how they cook, and the stories that come with it. This is a whole movement that is underway and as a source of attraction for people. Now, we did have the pandemic, and we heard about, and we all know the impact. The impact has been devastating worldwide. The minister spoke about this, that all countries came to a standstill at the same time. Bosnia and Herzegovina lost 83% of international travel. However, the great news is that it has come back very quickly. It took a bit of time, but this summer has really shown that this destination is resilient. And Minister, if you want to talk about how you jump from crisis, let's talk about the resilience of Bosnia and Herzegovina as really an example to the region and to the world. And when I say an example, pre-pandemic, it was one of the largest or one of the fastest growing destinations anywhere in the world. The Balkan region, because it's exotic, has attracted attention, and Bosnia and Herzegovina, one of the best performers. So really, we have some great stories to tell, and how do we come back from this? And I know the minister will speak about her initiative and how you supported the small and micro enterprises during the pandemic. But there are lots of big things. The largest climbing and highlining festival in Southeastern Europe takes place in Bosnia and Herzegovina. World Cycling Championship happening this year in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Next year, the World Rafting Championship is happening in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And many of the best of the world is happening or planning to happen in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now, I'll talk quickly about what we're doing in partnership with the government, in partnership with local communities and with the private sector as the Usaid tourism project. And I will move very quickly on this, but the first thing is we partnered with the government to attain the World Travel and Tourism Council Safe Destination, Safe Travel stamp. And from that, we developed 23 different protocols in addition to training courses for 23 different subsectors. From if you're a rafting operator, you have your own module. If you're a cycling operator, you have your own module, etc. And people are being trained on this online as well as offline. Partnerships underway with World Wildlife Fund to enhance management of nature parks with the United Nations Environment Program to expand the land mass officially classified as protected. And already the government, as I mentioned, is expanding these protections by declaring new nature parks, new nature areas, and protections, and so forth. We heard on the previous presentation that one of the safest modes of travel is ground transport. And again, in partnership with the tourist boards and the government, we helped create a recovery plan that looks at attracting near markets, particularly those that are the drive-in markets. Germany is close by, Austria is close by, Slovenia, Serbia, and a number of other countries can be drive-in markets. And to combine what we're doing with safe travel with COVID protections, as one example, with the private sector, we have a partnership emerging. One of the largest fuel companies in the region, INA, as an example, is a large company with stations in many different countries, and we're working with them to introduce these COVID protections to their gas stations, to their supermarkets, and that gives further confidence to the drive-in market. That's not just only hotels are thinking about COVID protection, but even the gas station. So we're thinking holistically on destination development as well as destination sustainability. Now, a great deal of what we're doing, also the USAID investment, is developing rural tourism, and particularly looking at supporting the small and micro entrepreneurs with access to finance. That's a challenge that we see and we hear about everywhere, and I know the minister, you're talking about this many times. We spoke about this in Washington at the World Bank a few years ago. But we're taking active steps, engaging with the banks and looking at tourism as less risky than they need to look at that, and also looking at tourism as an entire tourism value chain. We need to look at the whole tourism ecosystem. So, and make sure that they understand tourism is not a tour operator and a hotel only, but we need to look at the entire supply chain, the entire value chain, and the businesses that make up this tourism economy. And of course, how do we ensure that we're attracting the right type of visitor, and with sharper messages and better skills for people in the sector. We're looking also at villages. How do you support villages to preserve their culture, to preserve the nature around, and present themselves? We have the bottom part talks about an initiative called the Most Beautiful Villages of Bosnia and Herzegovina, among a variety of other areas that focus on rural development. But most of Bosnia and Herzegovina is in fact rural, and it's important that we look at rural development as well as development of these villages. A great deal of work is being done on workforce development to make sure that the industry is sustainable. We have to have the right type of workforce. But on sustainability, I would say a couple things I would like to focus on. One is integration of people with disabilities. So we're conducting a study right now, countrywide, to see what does it take to get more of those people with disabilities integrated in the tourism sector, and tourism can improve their lives by giving them sustainable and respectful and gainful employment. And at the same time, gender equality. How do we enhance gender equality in the tourism sector? And one of the models we're looking at is UNDP's gender equality seal that has succeeded in a number of countries. This is just an example. I will skip this slide. You can see it later, that a number of investments are already taking place even during the pandemic. So that shows that the international community, and much of this is international investment, really believes in this destination and in the future of the destination. So this was a quick overview. I can talk for hours about how wonderful this country is and what is happening in it. But Minister, you're leading a wonderful portfolio and you know, a wonderful country, and you've done a lot. So I would love to hear from you.
Thank you, Ibrahim. First of all, thank you everyone for being here, and I'm very grateful to be here, and it's my pleasure to be a participant in an event like this one is. Ibrahim, thank you for the great words about Bosnia, Oba also. I feel like they represent everything I have to say also. First of all, I'm here to maybe, but I have to say, to collect the opinion and I don't know, from the professionals here. last night we have opportunity to meet some people, and I feel that I have a lot to learn here, and that's primarily why I'm here, beside the fact that I'm here to represent to you, all of you, Republic of Srpska, part of Bosnia Herzegovina, and everything nice, all nice things that we have. As my previous speakers already said, great nature, and in this hopefully post-pandemic world, Bosnia will have everything and much to offer to everyone, to world travelers who are trying to find new places, new adventures, active tourism, and active leisures, because when you come to Bosnia, it's not like you can stay in one place for several days. It's not the case. You have to go further, you have to go all around and to see our beautiful mountains, our rivers, our cities, also for people who want to have some action in cities. Trebinje is very near to our Mediterranean coast, and you can breathe Mediterranean air there. And of course, as Ibrahim said, excellent wines and cheese. There is just a part of the offer of Republic of Srpska and Bosnia and Herzegovina. The most important thing in these days is also to provide the safe destination labels, and safe destination stamp is something that Republic of Srpska and Bosnia provided for themselves. Also, it's one of the projects that we are in cooperation with Usaid, and we are grateful for this because we don't know how long this all will take, but we have to think of the safety of the travelers. Travelers are changing their habits, and in future we hope to see more and more people more interested in nature, in beautiful open spaces, and to have where to spend their vacations. Bosnia is really a place where you can go and have a very nice vacation. Our mountains are there. We have 2 national parks. We have a rainforest, the only one in Europe. And I'm here today mostly to get you all interested in all these, just the small parts of the country that we, all 3 of us, presented, and hopefully to have you all there. We are here to present this, to answer your questions, but also just to make you go online and to search about Republic of Srpska and Bosnia and Herzegovina to see what there is. On the other hand, we are trying and focusing on strategic solutions for everything we say here today and in previous period also. We are in process of preparation, and we are finishing our 7-year strategy, also one of the projects that I'm grateful to USAID for help. We needed their statistics, researches, and it was very, very helpful to get the strategy that will focus on main and most important things for the future period. Sustainability is something that we are talking about here and also in previous period. Sustainability, we saw that through engagement of locals in all our places and destinations. Something that will get involved locals and to participate also in profit that can be taken from tourism. In getting together all parts of our economy, I will say it again, the Republic of Srpska and Bosnia is not such a big country, so we have to use our resources on the best way to get the best from that we have on the site. Also, I wanted to say that, as research shows, I think the Bosnia have a great opportunity in future to present themselves and to have more and more foreign tourists to come to Bosnia. 2019 was a great year for us, and we have in past 10 years before 19th, each year 10% of increase of foreign tourists coming to Republic of Srpska, and unfortunately 2020 put us all down. but we saw some opportunities from this COVID period, and we are eager to use all our experiences. As someone previously mentioned, the connection of government must be shown. During COVID crisis, we are all trying to get some solutions that will be pretty much equal for the region, because you cannot act as you are the only one there. You have to connect with the area, with the region, to have best solutions for our citizens primarily, and also in this sense of tourism. I will not take any more time. Hope to see you all maybe in panels that will take tomorrow, and hopefully to see you in Bosnia and Republic of Srpska, every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I think I would say one of the key messages that the Minister gave is she just wants to pique your interest and make you more curious to come and see for yourself, because we just cannot represent how wonderful the country is. You have to feel it, and you have to feel the warmth of the people. You can't do that online, and I cannot describe it. So you have to come and see it. I went there, I fell in love, and I decided to stay. And if you come, you'll be the same thing. So Daniela, it says we have 24 minutes left. Was that 24 seconds? But I think we have time maybe for either to conclude or one question. Not sure if Debbie, you have any thoughts on this? Or well, it looks like we do. Yes, Dr. Rafai. Here's a mic right here.
I'm very happy that the Minister and all of you have stressed sustainability in a wider term. Sustainability is not just about the environment, as important as that is. Sustainability is about people. It simply is sustaining life on Earth, and people have to grow. Sustainability is not anti-growth or anti-progress at all. You need to do that. You need to generate income for people to keep going on. I think that's very important. Now, speaking of the environment, you spoke a lot about rivers and forests and the nature in Bosnia, but you should speak more about the people. I think the warmth of the people is much more important. You can find any countries around the world that can say, we have the most beautiful mountains, the most beautiful rivers, but not the people of Bosnia Herzegovina. They're very special and very unique to Bosnia Herzegovina. So my plea to you is, please stress on the people and the economy of the people. That's much more important. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I would like to not to answer, just to say something on behalf of sustainability and involving people. Through this COVID pandemic period, government of Republic of Srpska, exactly because of the sustainability, and it is about the people, we have one project. It was the vouchers that the government gave to private sector in order to help people to go to the destinations, meaning government to all adults who were interested in visiting destinations in Republic of Srpska gave, I will say, 50 euros, a voucher valid for 50 euros to use it on our destination in the Republic of Srpska. Yes, and people, we have a great response from all of our citizens, and it was a great project through which we helped our hotels, restaurants, resorts, and all destinations that provide a service of accommodation. And at the same time, when the lockdown was finished, of course, our people traveled around the Republic of Srpska, saw our destinations also, and have something from it. Through this, we supported all chain, not only tourism as accommodation. Everyone had to travel there, spend a fuel, buy lunch, stop somewhere to have a coffee. So we have a great product out of all this project, and it's visible through our taxes, through everything else. So we have some profit and we have some positive result out of this project. So that's how we see the sustainability, involving locals, involving people, to everyone to have some positive reaction out of our measures. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rafai. And your points about people, that's also coincides with our approach that is people-centric. That's really, sustainability needs to be people-centric. If we have no other questions, I would just like to, again, thank the Minister for her time, and thank Ms. Vukmanovic also for representing USAID in this conference, and of course, making the investment to make this project happen. Again, you will see Bosnia and Herzegovina featured today in the session on tourism impact on the environment, as well as tomorrow with long-term investment. So thank you again.